The Galactic Empire, spanning thousands of star systems and ruling over countless species, had known peace through power for eons. Their rule was unchallenged, and any rebellion was swiftly crushed. Under their advanced military might, they had encountered countless species over millennia, absorbing them into the fold of the Empire, but none had ever dared to truly defy the Empire until humanity. For centuries, humans were a small, insignificant species residing in a corner of the galaxy, confined to their home system. Their technology, while advanced by the standards of their region, was no match for the Empire. The Galactic Council viewed humans as nothing more than a curious species with potential for integration, but certainly not as a threat. But the Empire had made a grave mistake. The first encounter, the Empire's first contact with humans, had been during a routine colonization effort. A small fleet of Empire ships arrived in the Sol system, intending to lay claim to its resources and begin the process of integration. They had been met with a simple message from Earth: turn back. The Empire's commanders laughed. No species had ever resisted the Empire's might, and they didn't expect any different from these humans. A single warning shot was fired, a beam of energy powerful enough to vaporize one of Earth's moons. It was meant as a show of force, a reminder of the Empire's overwhelming power. But humanity didn't falter. What followed was a series of rapid-fire communications between Earth and the Empire's representatives. Humanity wasn't interested in negotiations or in joining the Galactic Empire. They refused to surrender their sovereignty. But Empire, growing impatient, decided to enforce their will by sending a larger invasion fleet to subdue Earth. That was their second mistake. The fall of Fleet Omega. When Fleet Omega, one of the Empire's most formidable armadas, entered Earth's orbit, they expected an easy victory. Instead, they were met with unprecedented resistance. Humanity's technology had evolved far beyond what the Empire had predicted. The humans had developed weaponry and defenses unlike anything the Empire had seen. They had been preparing for this moment, for the day an alien force would come knocking. Humanity's fleet, led by the flagship Indomitable, rose from the surface of Earth and met Fleet Omega in orbit. What was supposed to be a swift and decisive victory for the Empire turned into a bloodbath. The Empire's warships, accustomed to facing inferior technology, were torn apart by precise human strikes. Every Imperial ship that entered the Sol system was destroyed with cold efficiency. Fleet Omega was annihilated in a matter of hours, leaving nothing but debris and silence in its wake. Humanity's resolve. News of the defeat spread across the galaxy like wildfire. For the first time in centuries, an Imperial fleet had been obliterated, and not by some long-forgotten race of ancient beings, but by a species the Empire had considered irrelevant. The Galactic Emperor, a figure of immense power and prestige, was furious. He could not allow such a humiliation to go unanswered. The full force of the Empire would be brought to bear on humanity, and this fledgling species would be wiped from existence. A fleet larger than any assembled in the Empire's history was readied, known as the Divine Retribution Armada. It was a show of force meant to crush humanity once and for all. But the humans didn't wait to be attacked again. They had sent their own message to the Empire in the form of a single transmission: "We're coming." The arrival, the Empire's homeworld, Centaurus, was a jewel in the galactic crown. It was the heart of the Empire, a world shielded by fleet and planetary defenses that had never been breached. It was a place where the Emperor and the Galactic Council ruled with absolute authority. But as the humans arrived, something was different. The defenses that had protected Centaurus for centuries felt inadequate. The sheer size of humanity's fleet was staggering. Humanity had arrived not with a handful of ships, but with an armada unlike anything the Empire had ever imagined. Their ships were sleek and deadly, bristling with advanced weaponry and powered by technology the Empire had no answer for. Humanity had evolved in secret, developing weapons and ships that could rival and surpass the Empire's finest. The Imperial fleet scrambled to intercept, but it was futile. Human ships moved with precision, their tactics refined by decades of preparation. Every Imperial ship that came close was obliterated in seconds. The orbital defenses that had protected Centaurus for centuries fell one by one, their shields failing under the concentrated fire of humanity's fleet. The Galactic Emperor's dilemma. From his throne, the Galactic Emperor watched the destruction unfold on massive holoscreens. His once unshakable confidence began to crumble as he saw his fleets torn apart like paper. Humanity had proven to be more than a nuisance. They were a force of nature, an unstoppable wave crashing upon the shores of the Empire. A voice echoed through the Imperial Palace, a message from the human fleet commander. Your empire ends today. The Emperor's advisors begged him to retreat, to flee to one of the Empire's distant outposts, but his pride was too great. He had ruled for centuries, and he would not be seen as a coward. He activated the planetary defense system, one of the most powerful weapons in the galaxy, a device capable of destroying entire fleets in a single blast. But as the Emperor prepared to fire, the humans acted fast. The Indomitable, humanity's flagship, unleashed a weapon unlike anything the Empire had ever seen. A beam of energy, bright and terrible, pierced the atmosphere of Centaurus and struck the planetary defense system. In a moment of silent brilliance, the Emperor's ultimate weapon was reduced to molten slag. Centaurus fell silent. The Emperor, now helpless, stood alone as humanity's fleet descended. The end of an era. The Galactic Empire, once thought invincible, crumbled in a single day. The humans did not stop at Centaurus. They moved from system to system, dismantling the Empire's forces and liberating its subjects. The Empire's rule had ended, not with a final battle, but with the arrival of a species that had been underestimated for too long. The galaxy watched in shock and awe as humanity claimed its place among the stars, not as conquerors, but as a species that had fought for its survival and won. The destruction of the Galactic Empire sent shockwaves through the galaxy. With the fall of Centaurus, the heart of imperial power, countless species found themselves free from oppression. Some rejoiced, others trembled. For the first time in millennia, the galaxy was without a ruler, and chaos threatened to tear it apart. Yet, in the midst of this power vacuum, humanity did not behave like the warmongering conquerors many feared. Instead, they did something unexpected. They extended a hand. The birth of the Galactic Union, humanity's leaders, aboard the Indomitable, sent a transmission to every known civilization across the galaxy. The message was simple yet profound. The era of tyranny is over. The time has come for unity and self-determination. We will not rule over you, but we will stand with you. Let us rebuild the galaxy together. For a species that had suffered under the Empire's iron fist, the message was a beacon of hope. Worlds that had been enslaved, taxed, and oppressed by the imperial regime saw an opportunity for freedom and cooperation. Some of the more advanced civilizations, who had long lived in fear of the Empire's wrath, were skeptical at first. Could humanity, a species so brutal in their destruction of the Empire, truly be interested in peace? The humans backed their words with actions. They began working to dismantle the Empire's remaining military installations and freed countless planets from imperial occupation. Rather than claiming these worlds for themselves, they encouraged each species to govern their own systems, offering assistance in rebuilding infrastructure and restoring autonomy. And so, the Galactic Union was born, a coalition of species, with humanity at its core, but not as rulers. Instead, they took the role of guardians, protectors of peace, and facilitators of diplomacy. For the first time in eons, the galaxy was not ruled by fear but by mutual respect. The resistance awakens, but peace is never without its enemies. Even as the Galactic Union took its first steps toward a new future, pockets of resistance began to form. Former imperial generals, warlords, and loyalists, unable to accept the loss of their power, retreated to the far reaches of the galaxy. There, they gathered their forces, plotting to restore the Empire to its former glory. Among them was Grand Admiral Frus, the most feared and brilliant strategist in the Empire's history. He had been absent during the fall of Centaurus, leading a campaign in the Outer Rim. Upon hearing of the Emperor's death and the collapse of the Empire, Frus vowed revenge. He viewed humanity not as liberators, but as usurpers, who had stolen the Empire's rightful place in the galaxy. From his hidden fortress, Frus rallied disillusioned imperial forces, mercenaries, and pirate fleets, forming a shadow organization known as the Revenant Legion. Their mission was clear: to bring humanity to its knees and reclaim the galaxy in the name of the Empire. the Phantom War, while the Galactic Union worked to establish trade routes, diplomatic relations, and stability across newly liberated worlds. The Revenant Legion struck from the shadows. Phorus was no fool. He knew that a direct confrontation with humanity's fleet would end in disaster. Instead, he used guerrilla tactics, launching surprise attacks on Union supply lines, inciting rebellions on fragile worlds, and assassinating key diplomats. For the first time since the fall of the Empire, humanity faced a new kind of war, but not in open space, but in the shadows. And leading the charge against this elusive enemy was Commander Saravos, the brilliant tactician who had led the human fleet during the fall of Centaurus. Vos was a hero to humanity, but she knew the challenges ahead were greater than any battle she had faced. The Revenant Legion was cunning, always one step ahead, striking where the Union was weakest. Planets that had only just begun to recover from the Empire's oppression now faced instability and violence once again. The hunt for Arthurus. As the Revenant Legion's attacks grew bolder, it became clear that the Galactic Union could not survive unless Arthurus was stopped. Commander Vos, alongside a task force of elite human and allied species operatives, was given the mission to hunt down and eliminate the Grand Admiral. The hunt led them across distant star systems, through uncharted space and forgotten Imperial outposts. Along the way, they uncovered the extent of Arthurus' plan. He wasn't merely trying to destabilize the Union. He had discovered the secret location of Project Omega, gave Empire's last-ditch superweapon, a weapon so powerful it could reduce entire star systems to dust. Project Omega had been the Emperor's final contingency plan, left incomplete after the fall of Centaurus. Phorus intended to finish what the Emperor had started. If he succeeded, the Revenant Legion would have the means to hold the entire galaxy hostage. The final confrontation. The trail led Vos and her team to the Oblivion Nebula, a region of space long thought uninhabitable due to its violent cosmic storms and gravitational anomalies. It was here, in the eye of the storm, that Phorus had hidden the remnants of the Empire's most dangerous weapon. As the task force entered the nebula, they encountered fierce resistance from the Revenant Legion. Starships engaged in intense battles, navigating the treacherous space as plasma beams and energy weapons lit up the dark void. The fight was brutal, but humanity's resolve was stronger. Vos led her forces with precision, cutting through the enemy lines with the same tenacity that had destroyed Fleet Omega. But the battle wasn't just a fight for its survival, it was a race against time. Phorus was mere moments away from activating Project Omega. If he succeeded, entire star systems would be obliterated, and the Galactic Union would fall. In a daring final assault, Vos led a small strike team into the heart of Arthurus' fortress. Amidst the chaos of battle, she confronted the Grand Admiral himself. The two engaged in a deadly duel, a battle of wills and skill. Phorus, though a brilliant strategist, underestimated the sheer determination of humanity. With one final strike, Vos ended Arthurus' life, and with it, the Revenant Legion's reign of terror. A new dawn, with Arthurus defeated and Project Omega neutralized. The threat of the Revenant Legion faded. The galaxy, though scarred from the years of war and oppression, began to heal.